Hey YouTube, welcome back to the vlog. We're getting actually ready to drop off that trailer to a secured parking because we're gonna be doing some Amazon here soon. You know, when it's Prime Day, Amazon is gonna be good, so let's talk about Prime Day. Yeah. Get out of the way, motherfucker. Shit. Turn it over, fuck bitch. Fuck you. Stupid dumb hoe. Man, I tell you, it never fails, man. Driving like nowadays, driving a truck is so much harder to drive a truck nowadays. It just, I don't, like, here it is, right? It's not that bad, right? But I was honking at her to move the heck out of the way. Pardon my language on the actual video, to move the heck out of the way because she had plenty of time to move over to the other lane. But for some reason, she just wanted to cut me off and take her sweet ass time to move over. That's why I honked at her. And then she rolled down her window and flipped me off. That's why I honked the freaking horn again. Boy, I wish I need to make a I need to put a horn on this side and a horn on that side, right? And then I'll put two different switches on them. When somebody does something like that, she rolled down her window. If I only had that horn facing that way and just press that horn, man, all of that will be going into her. This is like, I don't care what you do. You can cross whatever, drive recklessly or whatever. I'm always going to watch my whole 360 degrees, right? But when you cut me off and then take your time to move over when you had plenty of time, oh yeah, I'm gonna honk at you. You know what I mean? I don't get it. We're actually here now at the parking. It's a really, like, literally brand new buildings, Check it out. Like, literally brand new building. What the heck? Let me get this. Okay, there you go. And it's nice, really is nice, but they're putting on fencing right now, so I'm gonna trust it because it's in the middle of nowhere. I don't think these people, you know what I mean, would trying to steal anything from anybody, you know what I mean. So and plus they're just construction, right? Construction area, but yeah, they're putting fencing right now. Is not completely done yet, but yeah, I mean, there's like he did tell me there's already like 10 trailers parked over there, and yeah, that's what it is. And as a matter of fact, there's a RGN over there. I was thinking about just parking it over there, but it sticks out, so I want to put the trailer in between these other trailers, so you can't it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb from far away, until they get that fencing up. My point of contact for this parking, his name is Max. I'm gonna put his info in there, just in case you wanted to drop your trailer here, man. And he'll work with you. I haven't told him that I'm gonna tell people that. Well, I haven't even told him that I do YouTube or whatever. But I've known Max. I found him. I want to say 2 years ago or something like that. I think he's got another partner. I can't remember his name. There's two of them. One is in Tennessee, and this is all they do. This is their whole business, is just finding lots for truckers to park. And then they charge you on a monthly. There you go. I would say that's pretty center. I'm trying to center it as much as I can so the other guy on my left or my right Doesn't have any excuse if these guys ever move out of here. That's pretty center. I do need to pull it up a little bit. I don't want to destroy their little tree over here. It's not, I mean, it's not that bad, right? But I'm gonna pull it up about a foot. I really don't want to because, but they got plenty of room in here though. Okay, check it out. Y'all let me know which one do you like better. I think I need to cut it like round, like that one. But other than that, I like that. You see how like it bounces, right? You see that? Like it has, like even going down the road, it would never be to where these ones eventually they do this right here. Like that. Like that. And I hate that look. You know? So I'm probably gonna get another pair from the Kenworth and get that one. Get this one right here. These were 45 bucks just for the bracket, okay? And these are like 12 bucks. I like that a lot better. Of course, I got to put a DOT tape on there, but I did have to cut it to where, you see how that is? Got to cut it, you know? It comes as like a complete square or rectangle. Yeah, I think that's the shape I'm looking for. Anyway, they're a lot better. I like these a lot better because they're thicker. Like I said, I get them from the Kenworth. The ones I got one time from Freightliner, they were a lot thinner, and I hated those because they tore up real fast. But I think I like that. I like that. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get one for the left side. Oh yeah, by the way, they're different, okay? One is for the right side, one is for the left side. Because if you get this one and try to put it on there, it works, but this part right here is gonna ride closer to your tire. It might be even rubbed. That's why you gotta make sure you get the right side, the correct side, I should say. So, yeah, I like that a lot better. I wish I could get one. If I kept the permanent trailer, I would definitely get the nicer looking ones, you know? Maybe something with lights in it, but it's just that we do so much Amazon that it's really not worth it because you're gonna tear them up, you know? This one right here, if I tear this one up, it costs me 60 bucks. You know what I mean? The other ones, it'll cost you $300 something. So let's talk about Amazon Relay. As you know, during Christmas and during Prime Days, Amazon Relay is usually really good, okay? Now, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Amazon started doing contracts. These what they call contracts, right? I'm going to explain the contract later after this. But anyway, started doing contracts around late 2021, early 2022. So basically, I think what they were trying to achieve when they started the contracts was because a lot of drivers want to be like more like regional, right? So they want to be close to home, so they want to be within shooting distance from home, and that's what we're trying to accomplish now, you know. And I think that's why they came up with the contract. You've been watching the channel for a while, you will know that in early 2022 they started the contract over there in Spokane, and let me tell you, I was making some good money over there. So the contracts over there, I was running them at 350 miles per shift, okay? So I would go out, my home base was Spokane, okay? I would go out, or what they call domicile, okay? That was my starting point. I would go out from Spokane, go to the Seattle area, do a couple of drops in the Seattle area, and then go back to Spokane, and that was my 37-hour block, okay? And I did only like, on average, I was only doing like 500 miles, I believe, on average per block. And they were paying me $4,000 a block. Let me explain the block. Basically a solo 2 block, okay? As a single driver, a solo 2 block means it's a 37-hour block, right? What that means is that like from, let's say my domicile or my starting point is Las Vegas. That means I'm gonna end in Las Vegas. So if I signed up for a 37-hour solo 2 block, okay? I start in Las Vegas. The time I start, like 6 o'clock, let's say 6 p.m. tonight I start. 37 hours from there, I should be back in Vegas, okay? And at least that was the plan, okay? That's the plan. Now, that doesn't mean you're gonna be driving 37 hours straight. No, that only means that you still gotta abide by the DOT rules, which is 14 hours on duty or 11 hours driving, uh, or 14 hours total on duty and driving, and then you got to take a 10-hour consecutive break, and then you do it again. That's how they came up with the 37 hours. A lot of times they only have you running like 10 hours, 10, 11 hours, unless there's like a lot of layover to one of the stops. So within that, when you're doing that 10-hour shift, right, or 11-hour shift, um, you got stops in between, okay? And that's how they do it. They try to figure it out to where your stop here will go here and then next, and so you're on schedule basically. So like I said, it's like you still got to follow the DOT rules. So in a nutshell, that's what a block is. That's how a block works, okay? You start from your starting point, the time that you start that's when the clock starts ticking. And if it's an 8-hour block, if it's a whatever block, you know what I mean, then you start, and then it returns you back to that same location you started from within that time frame, okay? So there's been a lot of debate. The reason why I'm covering this, right, there's been a lot of debate online where I see a lot of people talking about, man, stop booking the contracts, and then the load board is gonna go up. Now, last year I was watching the Amazon load board, and as you guys know, if you've been, like I said, if you've been watching the channel, last year we did a load during Prime Day from here, power only, from here all the way to Ohio for like $3.50 a mile or something like that. Okay, that was a good rate, but now we got to try to get back, and that was the only one that I saw that was worth taking, really. So that's why I was like, I don't blame people if they want to take these blocks, you know what I mean? And these blocks really, like, they're not that bad, okay? um, I see also the other point, right? Some people are talking about like, stop booking blocks and start running the load board, okay? Because I mean, if you look at some of these blocks, these are your average blocks right here. Hold on, they're actually a little high right now. They don't normally run that high, okay? Hold on, let me show you. There's a lot of blocks available right now. I actually just kicked out a block because uh, I watch the Amazon load board a lot, right? And I kicked out a block because a whole block for a week, okay? I kicked it out because the load board is actually looking pretty doggone good. So I did I did schedule 2 blocks, 2-week blocks, okay? So 6 blocks total, 6 37-hour block. And they paid pretty good. They were paying almost $2,000 a block. And plus fuel surcharge, you're gonna be at around 2,300, 2,350 or so, and you're gonna run about 850 to 900 miles on average. That's still gonna be like 260, 270 a miles, all miles, and I don't have to do anything, you know what I mean? They're gonna schedule everything for me, and that's what I like about the blocks, you know what I mean? So actually, what the heck, the blocks have gone up quite a bit. Look at that. Anyway, so that's what people are talking about, right? Like that's the debate, is that stop booking blocks, okay? Now, you can see why people would book blocks, okay? Let's look at the stinking load board. Like on average, the load board looks like this. Look, on average, it looks like this, okay? Look at that. Look at that. Why would you ever book that? You know what I mean? It's like a whole bunch of wasting time. Now, one thing about Amazon is just like your regular truck stop load board and DAT load board, okay? If you sit there patiently and wait long enough, you're gonna get something. You know what I mean? Something will pop up right here, because I got it filtered at no lower than $3 a mile, okay? And that's why it's showing no matches, okay? But anyway, if you wait long enough, you're gonna find some loads. You're gonna find some loads that are paying pretty decent. You see my point why people would rather book blocks, okay? See, I understand why Amazon is able to do what they do, okay? A lot of people are talking about cheap. You run cheap, you'll do this, you do that. Listen, you don't gotta do anything else with Amazon. It's an app. Everything is run through the app. Everything, a lot, like 30% of the things that you gotta do on the load board is done for you. You know what I mean? And you don't have to have a trailer. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's, would you take a 20% hit on your rate per mile? If that's all it's going to take is a 20% hit. And Amazon, they know what they're doing. Whoever's running Amazon on their logistics sites, they know what they're doing. They put it close enough to where people be like, man, why would I run the load board when I'm averaging on the load board at 220 and I can average $2 a mile on Amazon and I don't got to do anything else? Come on, man. Right? And that's the reason why I don't fault people for running Amazon, you know? Yes, it's a dummy proof system. It really is. But like I said, if you not if you're not getting too much advantage running the load board, why put all that headache on yourself? You know, just run the thing on Amazon and you're gonna be fine, right? Anyway, and that's why I say I don't mind the the people that are running these contracts, because you can see, as you can see, if you're running contracts and you're compared to, say, the load board, as you can see, the load board is not consistent. That's the thing. It's never consistent, you know. Contracts, there's a lot of positive things in the contract. So let's say you book something on Amazon load board and it goes 3 stops, okay? And let's just say you're paying $3 a mile. You get to one location. Now Amazon does not allow it, you know, does not compensate you no longer. Before, you can put a dispute on that payment and they will pay you. Now, if they cancel something in between, let's say you finish first stop, and then from stop number 2 to stop number 3, they don't, or from stop number 1 to stop number 2, they say, let's just say they cancel that load. That load got canceled. Guess what? You're gonna have to bobtail all the way down to stop number 3 and not get paid for it. Before, you used to get paid for that. Remember that, okay? But if you were running a contract, let's say on a contract, they bobtail you the whole contract. They still gonna pay you for that whole contract. See that? You know what I mean? So it's really like, really, it's all preference thing, right? And like I said, Amazon, man, they know what they're doing, man. You know what I mean? It's not their first rodeo, you know. And whoever's running the Amazon logistics sites, they know what they're doing and they're really good at it. You know what I'm saying? So I applaud them. You know, I applaud them for that. A lot of times you see the way Amazon runs, you'll be like, man, that's a lot of wasteful things, right? So let's say I've seen Amazon to where I'm moving empty from one site to the next site, and then guess what? A freaking guy just brought that empty in, and I'm picking it up from him. Like, what kind of sense does that make? But you know what? Amazon ain't worried about that. You know what I mean? They got a whole lot of operation going on that's small potatoes to them. I keep misplacing that doggone trailer. Anyway, the reason why I had canceled that contract was I was watching the load board last night. Boy, I tell you, that load board never looked so good. So compared to last year, it looks so much better this time. You may be thinking, well, what about your score, man? That's gonna take a hit on your score. You know what? I don't even care about a score anymore. You know why? Because I feel like when you have 100% in score, or when your score is better, I feel like that doggone they don't give you those, they don't show you those short runs. You know what I mean? Those short empty move runs. I don't like that. Sometimes I just want to move those short empty moves, you know. And it doesn't, like, when my score is high, like at an A, it doesn't freaking show me those loads. So I was like, man, screw that score crap. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see if I'm gonna cancel the contract or not. All I know is, like, the contract that I have now are running at 2,000, and if I can see loads that are, like, let's say, going to Salt Lake and paying like $4 a mile. I think I'm gonna cancel those loads, those contracts. You really can't judge a lot of people, you know what I mean? You can't, like I used to get caught up in that stuff, and that crap. Be like, man, how does somebody do this? How does somebody do that? Blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. Really, all you can do is control what you're doing, right? Yourself within, like, you know what I mean? Your own AO, right? Area of operation. That's the best you can do is just mind your own doggone business and just adapt. You know what I mean? Adapt to the situation. Like, so last year, right, when I was getting frustrated with power only, it's just so tough. So I was like, I wanted to try to rent a step deck, and it turns out like I didn't get approved to rent a step deck, which is insanity to me. And then I applied for a loan to buy a step deck, and sure enough, boom, no problem, no questions asked. It's like, it's crazy to me that I didn't get approved to rent one, but to buy one is no problems. But anyway, um, uh, but I did that, right, because I was getting frustrated with power only. Because power only last year was horrible, man. And let me tell you, power only right now looking really good, man. I don't know why, but it looks so good, man. Like, the rates are so good. It's so insane, man. Like, I see some rates that are doable. You know what I mean? I saw one the other day going all the way to Pennsylvania from Las Vegas, power only, for for 220 a mile or something like that, 230 a mile. And it's not like the trailer has to return it. You just drop it off over there, which is crazy. That's why I got that step deck last year. Am I regretting getting that step deck? For a second I was. I'm not gonna lie to you, because it's like, damn, I got a step deck and I'm not even freaking using the doggone thing. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not putting it to good use, I should say. But yeah, but now, after hanging around with the step deck for a little bit, you know what? I don't mind it. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a waste. Because it's like a trailer is a really good investment when it comes to trucking. Okay, I know this freaking vlog is getting too long because we're supposed to be talking Amazon Relay right now, but sometimes I just get this way. I get to talking and I just keep talking. Anyway, we're gonna see you guys in the next video. It's gonna be an Amazon Relay. We'll see you in the next video.